Europe is finally waking up to the fact that relying on American tech giants for every single piece of infrastructure is a massive gamble that they are currently losing. Sovereign Tech Fund just handed over 1.3 million euros to the KDE project. It's not just a birthday present for a project turning 30. It's a desperate move because the public sector realized they actually need an operating system they can control. For years, the move has been to just pay the licensing fees and look the other way, but that era is hitting a wall. The money is specifically being funneled into KDE Linux. Stay with me because I'm breaking down every detail of how this actually helps or affects you later in the video. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you won't miss the daily updates like this to stay ahead of them. This isn't just another hobbyist project. It's a technologically radical in-house distro. It's being built to be immutable, which is a fancy way of saying the core system is locked down so it can't be easily broken or messed with by the user or malicious software. They are borrowing the blueprint from SteamOS 3. Both are based on Arch Linux and use a dual partition system where one update mirrors the other. If one side fails, the other kicks in. It's the same way Chrome OS handles things, making it as close to maintenance-free as Linux can get for a regular person. This shift is happening because digital sovereignty went from being a buzzword to a survival tactic. When the political landscape in the US shifts, Europe feels the heat. The push for European alternatives gained a lot more urgency recently, and the Sovereign Tech Fund isn't being shy with its wallet. Before this KDE deal, they dropped 1 million euros on GNOME in 2023, and in 2024, they funded FreeBSD and Samba. They are essentially trying to buy their way out of a Microsoft-dominated world because they've realized that being a customer of big tech actually means being a hostage to their ecosystem. If you're tired of seeing your data treated like a commodity by companies across the ocean, hit the subscribe button. We're tracking how these systems actually get built. The International Criminal Court is already making the jump. They are moving to OpenDesk, a suite provided by a German organization called Zendis. This happened right after reports came out that the ICC prosecutor was looking to kick Microsoft Office to the curb. Even though Microsoft tried to claim there was some inaccuracy in those reports, the move to OpenDesk makes the reality pretty clear. They are moving the apps first, which leaves the host operating system as the last remaining link to Windows scam. For organizations with deep investments in Windows, it's a slow divorce, but the paperwork has definitely been filed. France isn't waiting around for a slow transition either. Their Directorate for Digital Affairs, known as DINUM, is already planning to adopt Linux. Instead of building a whole new version from scratch, they are using a NIX configuration to generate a bespoke, immutable OS image called Securix. It's designed specifically for secure workstations based on strict national security recommendations. They even have a system called Bureautics that handles user sync locally. So you sign in with a physical YubiKey instead of a cloud account that can be turned off by a provider halfway across the world. The names Securix and Bureautics are actually a nod to Asterix and Obelix characters known for holding out against a massive empire. It's a pretty on-the-nose metaphor for what Europe is trying to do right now. They are tired of being the playground for American cloud services and are finally building their own walls. This isn't just about liking open source software. It's about the fact that the current system is cooked, and they know they can't trust a platform they don't own. The move toward these immutable systems like Securix and KDE Linux shows that the old way of just installing an OS and hoping for the best is over. They want systems that are reproducible, locked down, and independent of American cloud hooks. But moving the software is the easy part. The real drama starts when you look at the specific technical failures that force their hand in the first place. The problem with the old way of doing things is that it leaves you vulnerable to a system collapse you didn't see coming. When you rely on a single company for your operating system, your browser, and your office tools, you aren't just a user, you're a liability. Europe realized that if a single provider decides to change their terms or mess with their architecture, an entire government's digital infrastructure could just stop working. That is why the focus has shifted so hard toward immutability. In plain English, an immutable system is one that doesn't let you or a virus change the core files while the computer is running. Think of it like a read-only book. You can read it, but you can't scribble in the margins or tear out pages. This is exactly what the French are doing with Securix. By using a NIX configuration, they can generate a perfect, unchangeable image of the OS. If something goes wrong, they don't spend hours fixing it. They just wipe it and reload the original perfect image. It's a level of security that the standard version of Windows simply wasn't built to handle for government-level work. The technical reality here is that these organizations are tired of the maintenance trap. SteamOS has millions of users and Chrome OS has hundreds of millions. These systems work because they are designed to be maintenance-free for the end user. Europe is looking at that success and asking why they are still paying thousands of people to manually patch and fix Windows machines when they could just move to a system that updates itself in the background using dual partitions. One partition runs the system while the other downloads the update, then they just swap. It's cleaner, it's faster, and it doesn't break every Tuesday. Even the way people log in is being snatched away from big tech. Instead of relying on a sign-in with a Microsoft account or a complicated network directory that needs an American server to say, yes, this is you, the French are using local tools like bureautics. They sync user configurations from local servers to the machines, and the actual key to the computer is a physical YubiKey. No cloud, no remote permission, no chance for a company 3,000 miles away to lock a judge or a prosecutor out of their own files. For the person watching this, the message is clear. The professionals are leaving. When the International Criminal Court and the DNM start building their own Gaul-inspired operating systems to escape the empire, it's time to stop pretending the current tech monopoly is stable. It's a failure of trust. Europe is betting 1.3 billion euros that Linux and open source projects are the only way to keep their data actually theirs. They've seen the security risks, they've felt the lack of control, and they are officially done. This isn't a maybe anymore. The blueprints are drawn and the funding is secured. If governments are this scared of staying on the platforms you use every day, what does that tell you about your own privacy? Is this the beginning of the end for the Windows monopoly in Europe? Or is it too little too late to stop the American tech giants? Drop a comment below and let me know if you'd actually switch to a secure version of Linux if your government made one. Hit the subscribe button to stay updated on the collapse.